All signs point to Victor Oladipo leaving the Pacers, and I feel so bad for indie sports fans. I mean, Paul George, gone. Andrew Luck retires at 29 years old. Now Victor Oladipo? I mean, this team is young enough, they could compete for the East for years to come. Imagine if Giannis left the East, but now, who knows? And even though Vic changed his mind and he will play at the Orlando bubble, it means nothing. In this video, we'll talk the real reason he's gonna play after all, why it looks like he wants to leave Indy, and where he might play next. Hey, welcome to AM Hoops. I am Casey Kiernan. Hit subscribe and notification bells because it really helps out the channel. And you know, I get a lot of messages from you guys saying that you want to start a YouTube channel, or you've already started one and you want to know how to grow. And I'm still learning about all this stuff, but I do know that it's really important to have a good title to your video and a good thumbnail. And the guy who makes my thumbnails, check him out on Instagram. His username is Not a Cookie Factory, just like it sounds. Great dude, always on time. He lets me go back and forth with him like 5 times every thumbnail if I have to get it perfect, and he's really cool about it. Go check him out, hit him up on Fiverr or on Instagram. One thing I do know is Victor Oladipo wants to pull a Davis Bertans. He doesn't want to risk getting injured because he's about to get paid a massive contract if he stays healthy. Vic will be 29 years old soon, so this will be his last big deal. But he doesn't want to admit this is all about money because he knows it looks bad. Bertans is a role player on a non-contending team. Oladipo is the franchise player for a team that could potentially make the finals. His personal trainer, who's worked with him through all of quarantine, sold him out. I mean, he didn't mean to tell all of us that Vic is saving himself for money over his team, but what else do you call this quote? Vic looks great and feels great and is in the best shape he's ever been in. He hasn't had a setback at all. Now it's about taking everything into account, close this 2019-2020 chapter, and focus on 2020-2021, which I believe will be a big one. I mean, he goes on to say, yeah, there's a risk of re-injury going into playoff games, but why did he come back at all and play if there is a risk of re-injury? I mean, dude came back for 13 games and he wasn't great. He scored about 14 points per game in 26 minutes on 39% shooting and 30% from 3. Now I get it, he's coming back from about a year of rehab, but it makes me wonder, why would he come back, then rehab for 3 more months, and then shut it down if he's in the best shape he's ever been in? That makes no sense. What's even more confusing is Oladipo's actual quote about this. From how I have to build my 5-on-5 workload back up, to the increased risk of soft tissue injury, which could delay my rehab, and the unknown exact setup of the bubble, I just can't get my mind to being fully comfortable in playing. Okay, so that's a lot of different reasons, and if the bubble is one of those reasons, why did you go into the bubble at all to practice with the team? It's weird, and what's even weirder is his GM and head coach found out in the media. Vic didn't even tell them. They found out like all of us. But I have to address the elephant in the room here. He's gonna play after all. He randomly announced a few days after that statement, there is a strong possibility I'm gonna play. Huh, weird thing. And after all that, I was like, oh, I overreacted. He's not trying to leave the Pacers. This is all a misunderstanding. Then I heard about the money. Yes, it turns out if Vic doesn't play, he loses about $3 million. The Pacers said, hey, we're gonna pay him, whether he plays or not. Obviously, they want to keep their franchise player happy. Then the NBA stepped in and was like, no, you're not gonna pay him either way. I mean, he said in that quote, he's healthy. We can't just let healthy players sit out and get paid when other healthy players are not getting paid, like Avery Bradley, who opted out for family reasons, or Davis Bertans. Oh, and then Victor Oladipo was like, oh, who, me? Oh no, actually, I feel fine. Actually, I really like this whole Orlando bubble thing. Look, just because he's going to play doesn't mean that Pacers fans should feel any more secure. This probably will be Paul George all over again. Victor Oladipo wants to get paid and he wants to win, and the Pacers do not give him both. That was the issue with Paul George. A few weeks ago, PG told us he wanted to be a Pacer for life, but they just don't want to win that bad. He said the best power forward in the game wanted to join him in Indy, but they wouldn't pay the price. Of course, he was talking about Anthony Davis. So PG demanded a trade not long after. And that would make me so mad as a Pacers fan. There are rumors it's why they lost Larry Bird as part of the organization too. The Pacers don't spend money like the biggest teams to win championships. They usually pay guys early to get a discount, hoping that they'll pan out, which is smart. I mean, they've done that with Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, but that's not what the most important players in the league are looking for. They are looking to join forces, be a big two or a big three. LeBron had to go to Miami. KD had to go to Golden State. Paul George is now in LA, playing for the richest owner in team sports, trying to win. If Victor Oladipo considers himself one of those guys, I think he wants the money and the titles, and he wants to leave the Pacers. And right about there is when I hear a lot of fans say, but he loves the state of Indiana. Yeah, I know he went to Indiana, but loyalty is the most overrated thing in sports. Look, it matters a little, but it's not the most important thing like some fans think it is. I think the most loyal guy, honestly, is LeBron James. I mean, he loves where he's from. He's got the tattoo. He married his high school girlfriend. A lot of guys in the NBA sleep around. He doesn't. He keeps his best friends from childhood around him, and they built that empire together. He is loyal, but he left because you can't have it all. Let's see, Victor Oladipo, runway clothes, talented singer, on The Masked Singer, house in Miami. Yeah, sounds like a small market guy. No, actually, it's not just house in Miami. He lives there in the off season. There's also a training center called the Victor Oladipo Skills Lab. There are so many connections to Miami. The Heat are the biggest threat to get Victor Oladipo from Indy. Several Pacers reporters have said Vio's interested in the Heat. They're interested in him. They've got the cap space to sign both Oladipo and another max star like Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2021 free agency. Unless the pandemic screws up the salary cap in a really big way, this is what the Heat have been planning for years. Pat Riley has been in this game way too long. He knows how it works and he knows how to plan for the future. He did this with Shaq in 2004, won a title. Did it with LeBron and Chris Bosh in 2010, won 2 titles. And he will try this with Giannis and Victor Oladipo in 2021. Who knows how many titles will follow. And if you think for 1 second that Oladipo doesn't want that, you're crazy. A max contract, playing with other superstars, in a city he loves to live in already? Of course he wants to leave Indy for that. Yeah, I know he'd have to leave money on the table to leave the Pacers, but we've seen that over and over. From Kawhi to Anthony Davis, stars will take less to play in a big city with other big names. However, there is good news here for Pacers fans. This might actually be a good thing for your team. I mean, if Indy knows they're not going to re-sign him in 2021 as a max free agent, then they can trade him and potentially get a lot in return. The Thunder got 5 first-round picks for Paul George. The Pelicans got 3 for Anthony Davis. And if you don't remember how good Oladipo is, here's a refresher. In just 7 seasons, he's been an All-Star twice, All-NBA third team, All-Defensive first team, and Most Improved Player in 2018. Look, he's not Giannis, LeBron, or Kawhi, but he's just below those guys. The Pacers could trade him, and the Heat would have to pay up or risk losing him to a team like the Knicks or the Lakers. Now, if you want a full trade breakdown, check out the video linked above. Now, the craziest thing about all this is there's a chance I'm wrong, and he doesn't want to leave the Pacers, but he still gets traded. What if he is creating all this drama to make the Pacers think he's going to leave, so they offer him a max deal? We know the Pacers are cheap. They don't want to pay the luxury tax. They already lowballed him with an $80 million extension. And there's a chance he was like, no, I am worth the max. So he's creating all this drama about wanting out so they'll get scared and pay up for him. But they don't want to do that. They will trade him if he demands max money. The Pacers already have over $81 million owed to their core of Brogdon, Sabonis, Turner, Warren, and Lamb. Bottom line, if Oladipo wants a max, they will end up trading him or one of his teammates like Miles Turner or Domantas Sabonis. I don't want to see Vic get hurt again, and I hope he's not risking that by playing, but I also don't think because he's playing means he does want to be a Pacer after all. We've seen this happen way too often lately to small market teams, but these days the biggest stars want to win big with other stars, and they want to get paid big too. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.